Today we will discuss parallel combination of capacitors. When capacitors are said to be connected in parallel. For this we will consider this electrolytic capacitor. This shorter leg is representing negative side or negative is already marked on these capacitors. One more capacitor we are going to have. This is also electrolytic capacitor. This is its negative side. These two capacitors, when you want to connect them in parallel, then what will you do? This is a negative. This side is also negative. This is negative, this is negative. So this side negative will be connected with the negative. These two negatives will be connected together. And this side positive will be. We will take a wire and connect these two. We will take another wire and connect these two. Negative with negative, positive with positive. Then this type of combination is known as parallel grouping of capacitors. Or in another way, this is simple one, that when negative plate or negative of capacitor is connected with the negative of other, positive with the positive of other, then this is said to be connection in parallel combination. Or in another way, how can we understand? If capacitors are connected in a way that potential difference across plates of each capacitor is same, irrespective of value of their capacitance. Now capacitance, these two capacitors may have different value of capacitance. It is going to have 1000 microfarad and it is going to have 2200 microfarad. Both are going to have an equal capacitance value, but when they are connected in parallel means negative with negative, positive with positive, then potential difference, when they are connected in parallel, then potential difference in case of parallel combination in these two capacitors will remain the same, irrespective of the value of capacitance. Means potential difference for this capacitor between its negative plate and positive, and potential difference for this capacitor between its negative and positive will be same. Their capacitance value may be different from each other. If this is combination, then this is known as parallel combination of capacitors. Let us consider its theory in detail. Let we have three capacitors with capacitance values C1, C2 and C3. And their one side we are going to connect with the positive terminal of a cell or battery, and another side we are going to connect with the negative terminal. Now what will happen? If these capacitors are uncharged initially, then charging of these capacitors will start. When charging of capacitors will start, then this plate of capacitor, this plate of capacitor and this plate of capacitor all are going to have potential difference with respect to this terminal of battery. This plate of capacitor will be at lower potential, this plate or this end of battery will be at higher potential. So from this capacitor, electron will start moving towards the positive terminal of battery. And due to loss of electron, positive charge will develop on this plate of capacitor. Same will happen here. From this plate of capacitor also, electron loss will be there towards positive terminal of battery, and this plate will have charge plus Q2. Electrons will flow from this plate of capacitor towards positive terminal. Let us consider charge associated with electrons is minus Q3. So here loss of charge, how much will take place? Q3. So charge on this plate of capacitor will be plus Q3. So total charge that is reaching towards positive plate of positive terminal of battery will be this one and this one. So let us consider total charge that is flowing towards the positive terminal of battery is minus Q, and minus Q will be equal to minus Q1 plus minus Q2 plus minus Q3. It means this minus Q is addition of all these charges. This minus Q charge will move from negative terminal of battery towards other sides or other plates of these capacitors, and splitting of this charge will take place, because charge always on each capacitor, total charge if you will consider, plus Q1 should be equal to minus Q1. So total charge magnitude is coming out to be 0. Otherwise, when we will consider charge present on capacitor, so generally we are taking average of magnitude of charge present on different plates of capacitor. I am repeating again. These three capacitors with capacitance value C1, C2, C3, they are connected to positive terminal of battery. Due to potential difference between this plate and this terminal, electrons will move towards positive terminal of battery. Loss of electron will be there. So due to loss of electron, let us consider here charge developed is plus Q1, here charge developed is plus Q2, here charge developed is plus Q2, and charge that is coming out from this plate is minus Q1, from this minus Q2, from this minus Q3. These three charges, sum will flow towards the positive terminal of battery, and this sum we have considered minus Q, and this minus Q charge will reach to this end and it will split here. So from this splitting, minus Q1 will go to this plate of capacitor, minus Q2 to this plate of capacitor, and minus Q3 to this plate of capacitor. Charge present on both the plates of capacitor, always we are going to consider magnitude wise the same but polarity wise different. This flow of charge will take place as long as this potential difference is not going to be equal to potential difference between these two plates. When this potential will become equal to this potential difference, then further flow of charge will stop. Now in this case we have to find what is the equivalent capacitance of this combination. It means what is the value of a single capacitor that can replace all these capacitors C1, C2 and C3. Again repeating, let minus Q charge is moving towards positive terminal of battery. Due to potential difference between left plates of capacitors C1, C2, C3 and positive terminal of battery, electron will move from left plate of each capacitor till potential difference becomes 0. Due to loss of electrons, plus Q1, plus Q2, plus Q3 charge will develop on left plate of C1, C2 and C3. This lost charge minus Q1, minus Q2, minus Q3, in totality it will be minus Q. This minus Q will go to end B and split in the form of minus Q1, minus Q2, minus Q3 in accordance with the capacitance of individual capacitor, and right plate of C1, C2 and C3 will have charge minus Q1, minus Q2, minus Q3. Now we know this formula, Q is equal to CV, and in this case when they are fully charged, then potential difference across this capacitor, this capacitor, this capacitor place, that will be equal to V. In case of parallel combination, potential difference across each plate of capacitor is going to be same. What was splitting here this side? Charge. So we are going to have Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. We are considering magnitude of charge only. So for charge Q, we have this relation CV. For this capacitor, charge on this plate of capacitor is Q1. Its capacitance is a C1. So we will have relation Q1 is equal to C1 V. For this capacitor, relation will be Q2 is equal to C2 V. And for this capacitor, relation will be Q3 is equal to C3 V. V will be common. You can cancel, and we are left with C is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. It means C is greater than C1, C is greater than C2, C is greater than C3. And when the capacitors are connected in parallel, net capacitance will be greater than individual capacitance value. Potential drop across each plate of capacitor will remain the same. Charge will be present on capacitor according to the value of capacitance. So on this formula, you can have many numericals to solve. Next, what we are going to consider, energy stored in a capacitor. When we are going to store charge in a capacitor, then we are going to connect it. For example, this is a battery and this is going to be capacitor, and if you are charging it in the battery, chemical energy is there, chemicals are there, and when you are going to charge it, its negative should be connected with negative and positive should be connected with positive. So charging takes place within a very short time interval. It is charged now. When it is charged, what we have done, the chemical energy in this battery is now converted in the form of electric potential energy in case of capacitor. And when I will use this capacitor, then during discharging, the same energy we can consider in the form of light energy or some other form of energy. So energy is stored in the capacitor during charging process. Charging process means we are increasing the value of charge on the plates of capacitor. And when we are increasing, then work is done. Who is doing work? Work is done at the cost of chemical energy stored in the battery. So capacitor can store energy, and during charging of capacitor, charge is transferred from one plate to another plate. And who is transferring this charge? Who is doing work to transfer this charge? This work is done by battery or cell. And work done during this process is stored in capacitor in the form of electrical potential energy. And when the capacitor is discharged, we get back this energy. Now we have to find expression on which factors energy stored in a capacitor depends. These are representing two plates of capacitor, and this is charging of capacitor is taking place. This plate we have connected with positive, this we have connected with negative. So due to potential difference, electron will flow from this side to this side and from negative to this plate. Let us consider at any instant Q is the charge present on the plate of capacitors and V is potential difference. Why potential difference? Because it has less electrons, it has more electrons, so it is at higher potential, it is at lower potential. So potential difference will be there between these two plates. So this potential difference, capacitance and relation of charge, we are going to have Q is equal to CV. If you want to give extra charge dQ to the plate of capacitor, then you have to do work. And potential we know, this is equal to dW upon dQ. So work done by U will be stored in the form of energy. So du will be equal to small amount of work done. That will be equal to V multiplied by dQ. Let us consider you want to charge it till value Q. Initially your capacitor was uncharged, Q was 0, and finally you want to have charge. How much charge on this? Capital Q. Then total energy stored, total work that is done will be integration of this equation. So V dQ integration, limit of integration will start from 0 to capital Q. This V you can replace by using this formula by Q by C. C value constant, it will come outside the integration sign, and when you will do its integration, its power is 1. So during integration 1 will be added in this, and with the same you are going to divide. So you will get Q square upon 2, and lower limit 0, upper limit capital Q, and 1 by C is also there. So when you will put the value upper limit minus lower limit, you will have result Q square upon 2C. This is one relation for energy stored in case of capacitor. You can have its other form also by replacing Q by CV. So when you will use this relation, you will get this form. This is half CV square. In another form, you can use V is equal to Q by C. Put in this and you will be able to get another form, that is U is equal to half QV. Also, if you are going to plot a graph between potential and charge, then Q is directly proportional to V. So when you are going to plot a graph between Q and V, you will be able to get a straight line. Now what is the use of this graph? Use of this graph is area under this graph will give us expression for energy stored. In this graph you find out area OAB. This will be half into OB into AB. So OB value Q AB value we are going to have V, and just now we have seen energy relation was coming out to be U is equal to half QV. It means area under VQ graph will give you the energy stored in a capacitor. Now energy stored in a capacitor you cannot increase beyond a certain limit, because if you will keep on increasing, may be possible the potential difference between two plates of capacitor will become so large that electric discharge may start between two plates of capacitor. So for safety, the operating voltage is always marked on each capacitor. Also, if you will heat capacitor, if you will increase its temperature, then it will burst. And this capacitor is in working condition because this side is not fluffy. If it will swell, it will become fluffy. It means this capacitor, then it is not in working condition. So this capacitor is storing charge, this is storing energy, and this is of great importance.